So we're now on day 4 of lockdown number 2. Yesterday I was very late and I didn't do any posting. I refused to put on makeup because, it only takes 5 minutes, but sometimes you just can't be asked. I looked a bit hideous. So my hair was greasy and I wore no makeup. And I stayed in bed most of the day, actually, which I think is pretty good on a Sunday. I think that's sometimes it's just needed. And to be honest, in lockdown, then it's allowed. I've got my other cat joining me today, but she's down here. She doesn't steal the limelight like Lily. In fact, come on, Tia. You want to come up? Come on. There she is. Oh, it's Tia. Oh, there we go. So really lazy day yesterday. Today hasn't been that much different either. The supermarket was actually really quiet, which I was surprised about. But just generally, there are so many people walking backwards and forwards. It doesn't seem, where I'm from, where I live, it doesn't seem like there's actually any quarantine happening at all. Things just seem to be pretty normal. Apart from the supermarket being as empty as I've ever seen it, for sure. I still haven't done any bum exercises because I am procrastinating majorly, so that's going to have to happen at some point. Maybe I'll give it a go tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to film myself just yet, because I'm probably going to look really, really stupid and get really exhausted because it's been so long since I've done exercise. I used to go to Soho gyms, and they used to have a hack lift there, and that was incredible. My ass just popped, basically. But I've never found it in another gym, and there's nothing quite like. All I was doing is I would go in there for 40 minutes, 3-4 times a week, and I'd do some leg press and some hack lift and not much else. And because I was pushing really, really heavy weights, and then eating protein, it just kind of popped. That was 2 years ago. And then I joined Fitness First. That wasn't working for me. And then what's the other ones? Is Pure Gym? I was doing that, and again, they didn't have the facilities that I needed, and it just never went back to how it is. There's actually a gym that's just opened up on the end of the road, and it's a 24-hour gym, and it's at the end of my road. So I think that's going to need to happen, because I don't know about you, it's just getting to the gym that I find so difficult. And, if there's nowhere to park or, and you just get a bit lazy. 24 hours, at any point, you can just run to the gym, and it's literally at the end of the road. So there's no excuses. So maybe I'm going to have to give that a try. They've also got minimal, I think it begins with a J. I can't remember what kind of gym it is. It begins with J. I'll find out. But and they've got limited amount of places for the gym. So there's no overcrowding or anything, which is a really good idea. Although the gyms are shutting down, aren't they? I believe they're shutting down for lockdown. They've closed down. So that was pretty bad timing, opening a new gym on the second lockdown. But I guess everybody's going to really want to get back involved when lockdown finishes, which I'm thinking it's probably going to last longer than the 30 days. I reckon it's probably going to go on. I mean, they're saying that furlough's going to be extended to March. So she's so cute, isn't she? Till March. So I think that we might get a day off on Christmas. Somebody said that I'm the most gullible person in the world. So when I was younger, my brother, he told me you can catch freckles, which I believed until I was about 21, because honestly, that day, he wiped his face, he wiped his face and he wiped it on my face, and I got freckles that year. It was the only year I ever got freckles, so I believed that. And then I believed he told me that when you turn 18 in New Zealand, you get 100 sheep. The government give you 100 sheep. So I was about 16, 17. I was at a party, my brother's friend's party, and I was talking to these people from New Zealand, and I said, "Oh, what do you do with your sheep then?" And of course, that's the moment where the music shuts down, and everybody just turns to me and starts listening. And I'm like, "What do you do with your sheep?" And then, "What do you mean, what do you do with your sheep?" "Well, do you go home and shear them? Do you go home and shear them, or do your parents do it, or is the government set up a scheme or something?" And they're like, "What?" And my brother's there just laughing his ass off, because I believe that the government gave you, and that he said that's why there's so many sheep in New Zealand, because the government gives you 100 sheep on your 18th birthday. So I was also told that they've moved Christmas to March 25th. which I believed. And I really thought because of lockdown, I'm like, oh, okay, we're having Christmas in March 25th. So I am probably the most gullible person in the world. I can't help it if I've got a trusting nature. Gullible, I call it trusting. So that was fun. But I'm just a bit concerned about Christmas today, this year, because I mean, none of the shops are going to be open probably, so nobody can do, well, I suppose you can do online shopping. And then the quarantine, you know, you can only see people in your bubble probably, because I mean, come on, let's face it, are they really going to stop the quarantine? Because last time it was like, it was for 3 weeks, wasn't it? They said, well, 3 weeks and then we'll reassess. And it ended up being, what, 4 months? So, and they've extended furlough. So I'm guessing it's going to end up being like to March. Just say, and they did say that we'll be back to normal by October next year. So I think we've got a long way to go. But anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. I am going to go and have my dinner. So I hope you're all well. And those of you that are in quarantine and home from work are happy and not too bored. As yet, it's only day 4. We've got a long way to go. Watch some movies, watch some Netflix and chill. Speak to you soon. Bye.